Former Sri Lankan ambassador to Russia, UDAYANGA WEERATHUNGA, arrested. Sri Lankans held at DIYATHALAWA army camp for a quarantine period after arriving from China allowed to return home. A group of lawyers staged a protest opposite RATNAPURA courts. Another round of peace talks between US and Taliban.
A very good afternoon and welcome to Lunchtime News on TV1. We are coming to you live and direct from our Newsfirst studios here in Colombo. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Martin Satyanesan. First up, your lead story. The former ambassador to Russia, UDAYANGA WEERATHUNGA, was arrested this morning at the Bandaranaike International Airport by the Criminal Investigations Department after he was deported from Dubai.
The airport Immigration and Emigration Office said he arrived aboard a Sri Lankan Airlines flight from Muscat. The former ambassador to Russia is wanted by Sri Lankan authorities for his unlawful interference in purchasing MiG fighter aircraft for the Sri Lankan Air Force from Ukraine. UDAYANGA WEERATHUNGA was named a suspect in a case filed over the matter for embezzling millions through the deal. Upon his arrival, WEERATHUNGA was arrested by the CID and is being interrogated. On multiple occasions, the Colombo Fort Magistrate issued open warrants for the immediate arrest of former Sri Lankan ambassador to Russia, UDAYANGA WEERATHUNGA, after considering facts presented by the police financial crimes investigation regarding the controversial deal which took place between 2007 and 2009. Thereafter, he was arrested in the UAE following an Interpol red notice and was released after a considerable period in prison overseas. UDAYANGA WEERATHUNGA would be produced at the Fort Magistrates Court this afternoon. UDAYANGA WEERATHUNGA will be produced at the Fort Magistrates Court this afternoon.
The Sri Lankans who were held at the DIYATHALAWA army camp for a quarantine period after arriving from Wuhan, China, were allowed to go home today. Army spokesman Brigadier Chandana Wickramasinghe said they will be meeting the army commander today at the army headquarters. The 33 Sri Lankans who returned to the island from Wuhan aboard a special Sri Lankan Airlines flight were held in quarantine in two newly constructed buildings at the DIYATHALAWA base under special medical supervision until today. In addition, Chief Epidemiologist attached to the Infectious Disease Hospital, Dr. Sudat Samaravira, said a decision is yet to be reached on when the Chinese woman who was treated for the coronavirus in Sri Lanka would be released. Moving on with more local news, Minister of Justice, Human Rights and Legal Reforms, Nimal Siripala de Silva, instructed for necessary measures to be in place to expedite the process of releasing government analyst report to address congestion at prisons across the country. This statement was made during a discussion at the ministry yesterday. Moving along, 6 suspects including Mohammed Ibrahim, the father of the suicide bomber responsible for the attack on the Shangri-La Hotel, were remanded until the 28th of February upon the orders of Colombo Additional Magistrate Tanuja Lakmali Jayathunga. The CID informed court today that the government analysts, based on blood sample reports obtained from 3 children, had confirmed that their parents were Mohammed Ibrahim Ilham Ahmad and Fatima Ilham. Moving on, lawyers representing the Ratnapura branch of the Bar Association of Sri Lanka staged protest opposite the court complex in Ratnapura today.
The attorneys staged the protest expressing displeasure on the activities of the Attorney General. They demanded the protection of the sovereignty of the law.
In more local news, the annual sports meet of the Moravaka Kirti Abhivikramar National School in Mathura was held yesterday. Prime Minister's Parliamentary Affairs Coordinating Secretary Kumarasri Hettige graced the occasion as the chief guest. If every responsible authority in this country set a good example, Sri Lanka would not be in such a situation. Enemies from the global arena and traitors within the country have hindered the development. We must create a new generation and a new society. A new generation where everyone is equal. A new generation that will practice love and compassion. This country was destroyed by our own people. Now news from the stock market. The Colombo Stock Exchange opened on a mixed note today. The all-share price index as at 12 noon today stood at 5,854.87, which is 0.04% less compared with yesterday. The S&P SL20 stood at 0.25%, higher than 2,774.80. Moving along, identified as the pearl of the Indian Ocean, Sri Lanka is blessed with a bounty of renewable energy resources. However, it is in the island that we witness power cuts taking place during droughts.
Over the last few years, we have seen authorities urging the public to use electricity sparingly, especially when the drought period sets in during the month of March.
With Sri Lanka using just 27% of renewable energy sources despite having a plethora of such options, the question rises as to whether such resources are being used in a fruitful manner.
CB has proposed to connect 300 megawatts for a shorter period to provide uninterrupted continuous power supply as government policy. CB has planned to extend 100 megawatt of previous year power generators for another 6 months period, and also to follow tendering process which is now already finalized to promote demand side management. We continuously requested electricity customers to minimize or prevent any unnecessary or various stages of electricity, and also to use efficient appliances, and also to draw attention on efficient usage of electricity.
Meanwhile, Cabinet of Ministers has granted approval to procure 100 megawatt additional power capacity through competitive bidding. The 100 megawatt capacity is expected to be institutionalized for Pallekele, Hambantota, Horana, Galle, Mahiyanganaya and Polonnaruwa. The Cabinet has also approved the plans to send fuel invoices directly to Ceylon Electricity Board by Ceylon Petroleum Corporation and not make payments to respective companies, as these companies are reluctant to enter into the fuel supply agreement with CPC. Await a comprehensive report on our primetime news at 9 tonight.
From that, we bring to a close this edition of Lunchtime News on TV1. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Martin Satyanesan. Your latest news update will come your way at 1:55. Until then, take care.